Alrighty, let's get into it. Oh boy, BBY is ripping. I gotta look away. I'll look away. And we'll continue this lesson. So good questions, guys, that you guys had. I did start this recording, so those of you who are listening to it on the recording, you missed some awesome questions that we went over. So today I want to discuss a something that was kind of I've been thinking about lately that I know I struggled with, and I know a lot of traders struggle with, and it's not just traders. It's I think more mindset in general, but it does 110% relate to trading. So actually, Mick Trader, I know you're cool with it. I'm not here to pick on you at all. You're one of the best traders in here. What I want to say though, and this is how I thought about this lesson is Friday. I think you were like, I'm going to look at some of my trades. You know, my losers, my winners are looking like they're the same size. I think you said, or something like that. I could tell there was some frustration there. And you're talking about, I think, moving up your stop losses. Well, simply having better risk management is great, right? But I think in general, a lot of traders, and I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying from my heart, this is what I struggled with, and I don't know if this is you or not. But your what you were saying, I think Friday kind of made me think about it. So what I found was I always looked at my trades, my journal, and I'd say, man, okay, my trades are break even, or my losers are bigger than my winners. Like, what is going on? And then I was at that same point in my career at one point. I said, I need to put my stop losses up more. And what I was saying is, I need to risk less than I already was. And I barely was risking much. You guys know my losers are very small. If you go to look at my losses, they're like my average loss is probably like $100, maybe $150. And so I already don't risk a lot. And so by risking less, you're going to in turn make less. And that's the contraction aspect. How can I save more money? How can I lose less money? Which is great, but and here's the hook. How can I make more money? How can I expand? I know a lot of people when it comes to finances, they always talk about how can I have coupons? How can I save money? How can I, cut bills in my house? And yeah, if you're a big spender, that's great. That's going to help you. But what's going to help you grow? It's not coupons. It's not making your own coffee at home and investing the $1.50 Starbucks coffee into the 401k or whatever. I read a book called the Latte Factor. It was a 150-page book, and in my opinion, I thought it was one of there was a lot of good parts in it, but I thought it was one of the worst books I've ever read. Someone gave it to me. And I felt needed to read it. I would have picked it up off the shelf, and I already knew going in this what the gentleman was going to talk about. Saving that $1.50, reinvesting it or whatever. That's that contraction aspect. Like that mindset is not really. If you are here, you not only want to be a profitable trader, you want to have certain freedoms in life, financial freedoms, because that's what trading gives you. If you want to be a trader and make minimum, equivalent to minimum wage, that's cool. But I think a lot of you guys in here are here to make much more than a basic living. And the expansion part of it, where you guys need to start switching your mindsets, is how can I make more money? Not how can I save more? How can I make more? And by just that simple mindset change, you're automatically going to see growth as opposed to contraction. No one wants to reduce the quality of life they're already living in order to have a better life. I don't spend much money. I pay myself $3,000 a month, and that's it. Maybe rarely I'll take a personal draw for a vacation or something like that. And I'm completely happy with that. I don't think I'm like balling on a budget. I don't think I'm like a big saver. I just naturally, just from growing up as single family household, I'm not good at spending money. But the aspect that I loved was the expansion and the growth aspect. I was a strategist growing up. I love strategy games, and a lot of you guys need to think about that. How can my trades make more money? How can I let my runners run more? How can I have more aggressive price targets? How can I learn to average out so my trades end up being bigger winners, so I end up having more ammo when the stock continues to rip, I'm selling at higher price targets. Not how can I risk less? How can I make more? How can I be more selective? And so the trades I'm taking, there's more opportunity to the upside. How can I, size up when I need to so my winners are that much bigger than my losers? How can I increase the side hustle? How can I start a business? How can I make more money through real estate? How can I expand, not contract? And that's the number one biggest thing I think a lot of people struggle with when it comes to getting rich. Because you hear you need to be a saver and reinvest in. I agree. Listen, if you have a spending problem, I 100% agree. But no one wants to reduce the quality of their life in order to get the goals they want. Now, listen, I'm a big car guy. I don't have a Lamborghini yet. I don't. So to me, I don't think I'm spending much money. Well, I could definitely spend more than I am. I don't need to. I don't feel the need to, prove my worth to others with how much I'm spending on liabilities. But what you guys need to figure out is how can I increase the assets in my life? How can I be around people that are here for the growth and the success for me financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever it may be. It's the same aspect of working out. Would you guys rather just, eat terrible food and like terrible as in disgusting food that's healthy for you, and spinach and kale, not get the right amount of calories? And listen, we all have special diets. I have to have a special diet for my epilepsy. I get it. Or how can I find time to go to the gym to burn more calories so then I could not feel guilty enjoying the foods I like? I eat dessert almost every single day, and I don't think I have a massive dad bod yet. I'm working on it. And so this aspect, team, of expansion versus contraction, I think you guys need to drill in your heads. And I'm seeing this some, and it's kind of flashbacks with me because this is how I struggled with growing up. Is, how can I penny pinch here, save a little there, instead of all that brain power and the stress of saving and the reduction of quality of life I'm having. Why don't I just take half of that energy and try to figure out how I can expand as a human being? How can I find time to work out? How can I find time to, start a business that creates a side hustle, work on my real estate portfolio, figure out how I can make bigger winners in the gains I'm having. Corey has been sizing up. Corey's winners have been bigger because he's been sizing up due to the hot market. So already right there, you're already starting to see the expansion aspect. I'm doing the same thing. A lot of you guys are doing the same thing. I let my runners run. A lot of you guys, I don't look at the winners until I'm all the way out, because sometimes I could get a little frustrated because it's like, guys, there's so much. Like some of you guys, I think, sold out before the second halt going up. Completely out. I averaged out. I sold half my position on APGN or APDN, and also not frustrated with people, but I'm still like, there's so much more upside to have. Why would you sell all out right now? And I think it's that contraction aspect. Let me get a little winner so I can have it on the board, so I can, some crap can stick on the wall, and I could walk away in a green day. Instead of that, you need to figure out how can I figure out what I'm doing wrong within my strategy to make more money. Which in turn, is going to show that my winners are going to be much bigger than my losers, and you're going to end up having that risk ratio. And the cool part about it is if you're more aggressive, and I'm not saying shoot for the moon here and size up massively, but the cool part about it is if you start doing that, what you're going to find is you're going to be able to risk a little bit more. I'm comfortable being down 50 cents, 25 cents a share, depending on the price of the stock. That's all I want to talk about today. Is there any questions within this, within the life and investing aspect, within the trading aspect? I think this is going to help a lot of you guys. Re-listen to this. Just think about those two words: expansion versus contraction. Where in my life am I expanding, and where in my life am I contracting? One place in my life was my friend group. You guys are in here. You guys are in a group of like-minded individuals, which is amazing. And you guys are already showing me that you want more in life. And if you are hanging around people that are going to limit you from your goals, you are contracting yourself. Most of my friends are, I'd say, well above where I'm at or where I want to be. And that's the expansion aspect. I did a lot of talking, not a lot of reading. So if there's how do you work around the burnout phase of the journey? That's a great question. I love that question. Um, and a lot of you guys ask me like, how do I not burn out? I woke up at like 5 a.m. to start trading today. How do I not burn out? That's an excellent question. So there's two ways that I personally avoid burnout. I do things once a quarter to really reward myself, and that's often in the form of a vacation. So I take 4 vacations a year usually. This year it'll be 4. I went to Mexico, Q1. It was kind of still Q1. I went to the Florida Keys, and then Q3 I'm going to Nashville, meeting a lot of you guys, and then Q4 I'm going to be back in Captiva, doing some fishing. So. I go on vacations a lot. I get it's not a lot of your guys' finances to go on super nice vacations. But that is one way I avoid burnout, because if I could take a week out of each quarter to really reflect on where I'm at, and just sit down and relax. So champions know the difference between laziness and rest. I'll say it again. Champions know the difference between laziness and rest. And I read that this morning, and it really hit me, because oftentimes a lot of you guys who are working really hard take some time off, go bowl with your friends, go golf with your friends, whatever you guys like to do to play video games. Yeah, that's rest. As long as you are working harder than you are spending, your free time. I thought there was a time in my life where I worked. It was honestly probably an unhealthy amount of work. I know it was. I didn't see many of my friends, and I got burnt out really, really quickly after about a year of doing that. And I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do anything. And it's just like Corey and I talked about it. It's just like a stock. And I hate to be the cringy guy, but think about stocks that have proper moves to the upside. They often have those 5-minute pullbacks. What I view rest as almost like a 5-minute pullback, a time of rest, a time of consolidation, regrouping, refocusing for the next move higher. And that's exactly what I do. I take vacations, and then usually once a week or twice a week, I go out and do something fun with my friends or my family, if it be golfing, whatever it may be. So make sure you're still rewarding yourself and doing fun things with your friends, because like I said, champions know the difference between rest and laziness. But moving on, where do you draw the line between timid and contraction, focused on having a risk tolerance that's too big and being too focused on expansion? I like that question. A way to kind of view this, if you will, is, do you feel like in your heart you are properly averaging out of your positions, when needed? Do you feel like you're being very selective, or do you think you trade any stock that hits your scanner? Those are the two things that I would focus on too. But what I would mainly do is I would actually maybe start with having smaller position sizes and seeing with more aggressive price targets and with averaging out the percent gain you're making based off of that trade. So if I took $2,000 position and I made $1,000, that's a really good trade. So now my confidence level is already increasing. And then as you build a buffer within your account, listen, you're going to lose. You're going to lose a lot. It's part of the game. But if you are finding in your journal that you have a higher win percentage, like above 60%, and your winners are bigger than your losers, there's nothing to be timid about. Just start to size up in this hot market, and you'll do just fine. How long were you learning for before you actually started trading? So silly me, I jumped right into it. I probably started learning is maybe a month or two of watching videos of, okay, what is trading, navigating Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim had some at the time before it was bought out by Charles Schwab. I don't know if they still do, but they had like free lessons on like navigating TOS. And I watched other traders who traded on Thinkorswim. And then as I got a grip of that, I started watching other traders and I jumped right into it. And there was positives and negatives to both of that. I instantly learned that, hey, I got to take this seriously because I actually can lose money. But I also learned like steps of okay, by taking the first step and jumping in and taking my first trade, it helps a lot. It helps with the uneasiness aspect of like, okay, when is the right time to actually dive in? And the answer I have for you is there's never a right time, because you could be learning for several years, but the greatest teacher is the actual experience, being in a trade, feeling that nervousness, understanding that the emotions you have, while keeping your strategy sound. That is the greatest teacher I've found within the past few years. Not watching, you can watch as many videos as you want, but nothing will teach you like a few months of trading in a cold market. I'll tell you that. How do I just selling too fast when I'm green and not stop loss when I'm red? So Magic, I say this a lot. Do you sell all out at once when you're in the green? Like, do you just like flatten, like I'm in the green, boom, or do you sell half here? Do you sell a quarter? Do you average out? How do I just selling too fast when I'm in the green and not? So that's number one thing. And if you do average out, are you making sure that before you enter a trade, you already have a plan of where do I plan taking profit and where would I plan? Yeah, see, I think that's your issue. Selling all out at once is something I would work on, definitely. Evaluating a stock when it hits my scanner. I see the name, I see it's my scanner. I check the float and volume, make sure that there's decent float and volume there. I don't want to trade a stock that's got like 100,000 shares of float. And then if I like that, I'll pull it up on my HKD. I think at a ridiculously low float, at 1,000. Are you kidding me? And then I pulled up on my TOS or in my Moomoo, see what the charts look like, and if I like it, I'll trade it. Zach, the best mobile trading platform is indeed Moomoo. I would say TOS. The charts don't upload that fast. There's so many buttons you have to click before you either buy or sell, which I hate. I simply funded a Moomoo account just in case I'm out with friends and I want to trade on my phone. There's just a lot of great tea on that. What's a good float size? It's a good question. It's something I've definitely thought about. Like, let me kind of like restrict the float size. Obviously, the 1 to 3 million we do trade a lot. But I've traded stocks in the 30 million share float, and so I don't have an exact like, okay, how many float rotations does the stock need, and how many shares of float exactly. I trade 1 to 3 million. He says, according to Warrior Trader, yeah, below 5 is the best. Yep, I'd agree with that. I think exactly what I just said just correlates with Ross Cameron. 1 to 3 is my is the best, I think. Million, that is, not thousand. But I don't look at like float rotations or anything like that. I would still trade, obviously, if it got up to the 25, and if he says 50 million's okay, that's it's interesting. Usually 30 million, I think, is generally the highest float size I trade. Obviously, when I traded large caps for a while, it was different. But I would actually, I'm going to stand by what he says. I'm going to agree with that. 1 to 5 million, I'd say, is the best I found. Anything below 1 million, like I think GETY was 500,000. I traded it, yeah, but slippage was bonkers, like $0.50 a share. I ran out of day trades on Thinkorswim, but I have money in Robinhood. Can I switch the money over to Moomoo? So I would switch it over to Moomoo. I think Robinhood, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Robinhood wasn't really made for retail day trading, while I do believe Moomoo's software was. So if you want to split it between two platforms, TOS and Moomoo would be my two favorites. Also, if you use our link up in Best Software, get 6. I think the promotion's still going. 6 free stocks if you deposit your first dollar. It's actually pretty good deal there. When you share off your phone, how are you doing it? Because you can't look at TOS or level 2 charting. Yeah, it is hard, dude. Like, I don't do it much, but I just stick to my gut and stick to the strategy. Usually it's buying with anticipation of a breakout. I'm hyper selective. For example, the last phone trade I did was I did actually take a phone trade on AMTD this morning in the $7 range for a push up to. I did a dip. I think did buy AM on my phone, but it's with major reduction in size and like hyper. Like I'm very selective. So PGY, the break at the all-time high, I knew was a really good setup given the amount of volume that was coming in. Speaking of PGY, it's going up right now. So I was willing to size up on my phone. I took like a $10,000 position and made I think 1,000. So. Alrighty, y'all. I've been just reading the chat. Has there been any questions? Raising your hand. I don't see any. Gone over a lot. Talking, I feel like, for the past like 6 hours. Oh man. I think I'm gonna lose my. Oh boy, I played higher or lower with Dagan in the stream today, where HKD is gonna end. Shoot, I said it's gonna be below 500, and now I owe him lunch. Okay, I pay for lunch Don't tell him this, but I pay for lunch every time I go out, so I don't think anything's gonna change. But I'd love for him to pay for me. Okay, Isaiah's got a question. Bring you up on the stage, oh man.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Yeah, so I was just kind of curious, what factors go into setting your profit targets? Because I know you mentioned that you kind of want to, like the whole aspect of expanding versus contracting them. And so do you just kind of go by 25-cent increments, or what kind of goes into the side? Curious about.
So I really have to kind of think about that per stock. A lot of my price targets have been my brain analyzing the price of the share and the volume it has. And then because I've been trading for several years, it's getting easier for me to start to understand, okay, what's the actual true potential given the setup and the catalyst, in the volume. For example, I didn't think APDN had a chance to go up to 10 today. I thought $3 was the realistic price target for it. But that was also parabolic momentum. So you have to understand first the market you're trading in. Okay, if you're in a hot market, maybe you should be doing 50 cent intervals. But I usually don't take a trade if I don't think I'm going to at least make 10% or more on the trade. That's where I usually do it. So, for example, I bought at 225 on APDN. I was looking to sell it over 250 for over 10% gain. 275 ideally for like a 20% gain in my price, or my stop loss to be around $2 for about a 10 to 5% loss. So just noting that every stock I won't trade unless I think I can make at least 10 to 15%, because I found the sweet spot within cutting losses is about 5 to 7%. Meaning like anything over that is just way too much and you're risking too much. And anything under that, I don't think you're risking enough in the momentum market. And honestly, I don't think it's worth your time or the potential loss of your money to take a trade if you don't think you'll make at least 10 to 20% gain. Does that kind of help?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank
Cool.
you very much.
You guys, Dagan just texted me, lol, lunch money. Is he in here? Are you in here, Dagan? No, he's not. Screw that guy. I'm going to fire him before we give him lunch. Just kidding. Alrighty, guys. Before ending this group lesson, my brain is fried. Just been here for a while, talking and looking at green candles at least. Any other questions on the topic of discussion today? How can HKD move that much? It's because the float is ridiculously low. So a little bit of volume in the stocks. Someone just sold 90 shares. That's crazy. Please do yourself a favor and don't buy that. I wanted to go over 5 minute pullback sometime. Yes, Terry, or McTrader. I have a whole video I think I filmed not too long ago where I went into the science of the 5 minute pullback. I really went deep into exactly what they are, how to trade them, when you know it's too much of a pullback or reversal. I found I went back and back traced a ton of previous trades. And that's going to be a whole group lesson. I wanted to do it this week, actually. Today was supposed to be the day, but this was on my mind over the weekend, and I really wanted to talk about it. Actually, and also respond to the message above, homie. All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to stop in and say it looks like Jason is going to be buying me lunch because HKD is over 1,000.
Oh, hey, Dingan.
Hey, yeah, that's all. See ya.
Moving that kid to audience. Speaking privileges revoked. I'm not paying him. All right, y'all. I'm gonna head out. Excellent group lesson. Daga just ruined my entire vibe. I'm really upset now. If you don't broke that, I gotta pay him. He was gonna ask for a Japanese steakhouse or something because that's just him. Okay, what are you doing? He thought he was gonna speak again. Alrighty, guys. Have an excellent day. I'll catch you here tomorrow morning or at Power Hour. I might come back and trade because opportunity's been ridiculous today. Excellent trading day, team. Catch you tomorrow. Peace.
See ya, Jason.